Hello everyone, this is Karen, and I'm going to go over the handout that I uploaded for you guys to link to all the chapters that we're going to use for our project and class. It is called the California Building Codes Web Links, and I actually went in and linked every single chapter and part and code for you guys so you won't have to find them online looking endlessly in a pit. So what I did was I believe I have a Title 24 handout that I had you guys look at, and this is obviously the same thing, but I linked every single chapter for you guys. Let's see here. So you're going to have the California Administrative Code. We're not going to go over that too much for this class. It's a lot of stuff that we don't need to memorize or anything. So what we're going to do is, since the California codes encompass everything for construction, we don't need to really know everything that there is to know in the codes, but we need to hone in on the interior design specificalities for designers. So that's what we're doing for this class, obviously, because it's interior design building code. So what I did was we did a reference manual for the state over the summer, and it's still going on. I thought it was over, but it's not. So what I did was I took the table of contents for that, and I made a handout for you guys with the links for every single chapter that we're going to use. So instead of wandering aimlessly online looking for this and that, it's all right here for you guys to just click and get connected to it. So for this purpose, we've got the California Building Code Part 2, Volume 1. Chapters 1 through 15 are actually in this one book. This is one book right here. The California Building Code Part 2 is another book, and then all these down here are all different books. The California Green Building Standards Code is one book, and then these are the chapters that address the interior parts. So when you come up to the California Building Code Part 2, these are all the chapters that address the interior design portions of it. So for this purpose, we're going to go to the occupancy, which is chapter 3, and you can see it right here. So I did make a PDF of this. So whatever program you're in, you should be able to just click on it and have it take you to it. I'm on a Mac, so it doesn't automatically do it. It'll say open link, should go to it, and it'll take you, as if you can notice, it's to the ICC, which is the International Code Council. And over here you're going to see chapter 3, occupancy, classification, and use, and it is highlighted. And over here it'll say occupancy, classification, and use. So when the screen finally appears, you will see a California Building Code Matrix adoption table. We don't need to know anything in there. And another thing about these codes are the fact that you can no longer look at an entire page, nor can you actually print the page. So they're just going to show you half a page at a time, which kind of sucks. It makes for very tedious looking at online codes. To make it a little bit better, you can go up to this full screen button right here, and then you'll still get the matrix over here. So you're going to scroll down, and you're going to see chapter 3, occupancy, classification, and use. So this is how you're going to find the codes for whatever you need, and it'll be from chapter. If you need something in plumbing, that'll be chapter 29. If you need something for like a fireplace, that'll be chapter 21. If you need something, sustainability, which is the Cal Green, that'll be part 11, which is a different book. And we'll go over this more in depth once class starts again. So this is just a little video on how you can find these the information you need for your project. So once you get here, you're in the chapter 3, and just so you know, when you see a section, whatever number it is, this is obviously chapter 3, section 301. If it's a 3-digit number and it starts with whatever number, that's usually the chapter that you're going to be in. If it's a 4-digit number, it'll usually be the first 2 numbers. So, like I said, plumbing is going to be chapter 29, so you'll probably have a 2901 here instead of a 301. So just a little tidbit for you to know and make your life a little bit easier. So, occupancy, classification, and use, and you're going to see the occupancy classification here, and then you're going to see all the different classifications. There are actually 14 on here. However, we're only going to be using 10 of them. So you don't need to know anything about SFM, which right here it says SFM. This is the state fire marshal. Don't worry about that one. And then you can see the SFM over here, as well as 14, and then all this other stuff. We don't need to know that. So we're going to concentrate on, like I said, we're going to concentrate on 10 of them. It's going to be assembly, business, educational, factory and industrial, high hazard, institutional, mercantile, residential, storage, and utility, and miscellaneous. So I know the codes guidebook says just utility. The California codes say a utility and miscellaneous. It's the same thing, so don't worry about too much about that. And then you're going to see when they start talking about assembly group A, what does that mean? So you can see over here, assembly, which is section 303, which is right here. But then we have sub-classifications called A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5, which the code book that you've read has explained a little bit. The code book, the guide codes book that we have for class. I am so not talking right now. They are focusing on the IBC. We are focusing on the California equivalent, which and sometimes is more strict. It's stricter or more strict. So then we go to assembly group A1. I wish we could print these out for you. I might be able to if I can get my printer working, or scan it for you guys so you actually see this all in one page and you can print it out for yourself and highlight them. So we've got assembly group A1, assembly group A2, and this little thing right here is the section that you will have to be putting in your projects as well. So and then we have group B, which is business, and it actually does a great job of showing you what they mean by business, just like the book. See, educational. Educational is actually broken up into a couple groups. This one is K through 12 grade, and then we have daycare facilities, and then it's got places of worship, 5 or fewer children. I just want you to become aware that there is an educational group and it's broken down into at least two subgroups there. So the factory group, let's see what else. High hazard group H. Don't worry about this table. It's a lot of stuff. And it's a lot of pages too. Institutional group is actually broken down into I2, not I1s, not used, it says right there. And then I3 and I4. Daycare facilities, I3 is institutional group under restraint or security. Mercantile group M, section 309. Each group has their own section number. Just remember that. So if I ask you, I don't know, what is the heading for section 310 and what is the group 310.4. What does that mean? What do I find here? You will find residential group R3. That would be the answer to that question. Just a hint. Then we've got storage group S. As you can see, they keep going up, 311. If I ask you, give me 2 examples of storage, you can go in here and say, occupancies are buildings occupied for storage uses that are not classified but not limited to storage of the following, and then you can put dry boat storage, books, boots and shoes, linoleum, whatever it is. So I'm going to make you guys work because I want you to get the gist of this in a class. I don't want you to not know what you're doing actually when you have an actual job. So I'd rather you make mistakes in class than on a job because that's going to be a big liability and also cost you a lot of money. So that is why I'm having you do this. So for the first assignment, we are going to I want you guys to give me like at least a 1 or 2 sentence of what occupancy is. You can even use this note here. It's actually not a bad one. So if you want to do that so you don't have to think too much, that's fine with me. But I want you to give me a very general understanding of what occupancies is for your project. So once again, and to get out of here, you can use the full screen again, and it'll take you back. And then further on for the other chapters that we're going to use, let's see what else. We've got construction types, interior finish. Let's go to chapter 8. So chapter 6 is types of construction, fire and smoke protection features. This is new. I haven't seen that one. Chapter 8 is interior finishes. Chapter 10 is means of egress. And chapter 11 is the housing accessibility chapters. There's 2 of them, and they're about, I know one section is over 200 pages. We're not going to go study all 200 pages. That's just crazy. And we don't have time for that, but I'm going to try and give you the most important sections to go over on that one. And then, as you can see here, this is where it stops, chapter 15. So if there's no more chapters, where do you go? You go to the next volume. So we can go back to California, or you can go back to the page that I just had you do. So as you can see here, and I've listed it out for you guys. So California Building Codes Part 2, Volume 1. It's totally confused, so I put it on there for you. It covers chapters 1 through 15. Chapters 16 through 35 is the next Volume 2. And then we've got the 3 main chapters that are on that one are masonry, glass and glazing, and plumbing. And then all these are different books. So the ones over here are the different books that we have. The ones that are indented are the chapters within those books. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm trying to make it as easy for you to find these things as possible. And before this class, there was nothing like this. The manual that we've been working on for the state is supposed to be in print right now, and it is Tuesday, September 8th, about 1:40. So I just got word that they are having troubles with the electronic version, so I have to go fix that. But for you guys, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to find these things so you don't have to figure them out when you're on a job. So that is it. If you have any questions or concerns, if I've confused you even a little bit or even more, please let me know. I will be happy to help you in any way I can. That should be it for now. We're going to cover more of this in detail during class next week. So that's it for now, and I hope you had a great weekend.